Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of HCAM Sports Talk. Tom Nappy here. In just a bit, we'll be joined by Andy Barron. But first, we have the latest happenings with Hiller Winter Sports, and we recently talked to the Hopkinton Hillers girls varsity basketball team. On Tuesday, February 7th, Hiller boys basketball hosted Ashland and celebrated senior night. Here's a look at the festivities.
First off, I'd like to welcome Ashland and give a big congratulations to their seniors as well. I'd like to thank, you can give them a little round of applause. That's nice. I'd like to thank everybody who came out tonight and the student body as well. All year long they've been supporting us, so I'd like to thank them. We're going to call out each one of the seniors and their family. And we're going to start with our managers. So we're lucky enough to have two great managers. The first manager is Anna Lindy with her mom, Erin, dad, Ken, and sister, Kate. Next up is Ariana Schaefer with her mom, Kathy. Now for our senior players, first up is Tommy Chatton with his mom, Laura, dad, Tom, and sister, Julia. Next is Zach Hyman with mom Sherry and dad Steve. And our final senior, Cole Deisenroth with mom Carrie, dad Josh, and sister Olympia. Let's hear it one more time for our seniors from both sides. And we're going to finish with a 5-minute warm-up and get right to our game afterwards.
Zach Hyman, Cole Deisenroth, and Tommy Chatton. So it's good to see that the majority of this roster will be back next year, but of course the three seniors will certainly be missed and have been huge contributors to this team.
Absolutely. Three starters. They've been a big part of this program for a number of years. Great kids, strong student athletes, both on the court and off the court. And so they're great leaders for this program. But again, like you said, there's a lot that's coming up the pipe too as well. So a lot to be excited about for Hopkinton basketball moving forward.
After the senior night celebration, the scoring got going for the Hillers.
Surrounded by defenders, gets it out, up for three. Yes, nearly knocked away, and now it's taken away by Hyman, and he lays it in.
It's great effort by Captain Zach Hyman right there with the steal and the take all the way to the hole.
Toss over to Fuelhart, and stolen away. Thomas Chatton takes it to the rack, slams it down.
Oh, baby. Flush.
It over. Chatton drives baseline to the rack. Count it. Feeds it over. Up for three, and no good there is Deisenroth. And it's going to be some good hustle by Iannelli. Feeds it to Wilson, knocks it down. Off the O'Brien attempt. Rebound Deisenroth. Here comes the Hillers. 24 seconds left in the quarter. Shot clock off.
Good ball movement right there.
Knocks it down. Cole Deisenroth.
Pushed
it up. Hyman driving down. Iannelli down to the corner for three. Yes! Cole Deisenroth.
Nice shot by Cole.
The Hillers led 39-23 at the half and proved to be too much to handle for Ashland as they took the win 63-52. Hillers improved to 11-5. Ashland fell to 1-17. Cole Deisenroth netted 17 points for the Hillers in the victory.
Robbie Rudisil with a well-needed bucket. Up for three. Yes! Logan Del Ponte at the buzzer.
Woo! Logan Del Ponte.
It was a Hiller hockey doubleheader on Wednesday, February 8th. The boys started things off, taking on Ashland.
The Hiller's going to try to take it down. Mira sends it over in front of the net. It's put in. And that is going to be Cam McPherson. A shot by Ryan Akunis. Mara racing in. Backhander. Yes! Pavitt Mara makes it 2-0.
2-0 Hiller lead heading into the second period.
Here comes Title. Title closing in. Takes the shot and it's in. Title leaves it for Resnick, and Resnick pops it in. Racing in, and a nice pass by Morse, and it's put in by Parker Wynn. Morse to win into the net. looking to break away or make that. That's Resnick. Resnick closing in, leaves it in, it's put in by Ian Tosca. A great feed by Resnick, and Ian Tosca makes it 5-0 Hillers. That score comes out 1 second left in the second period. Unbelievable.
Hillers would lead 5-0 after the second period and end up taking the win 7-3. Hillers improved to 13-3-0. Ashland falls to 7-8-0. The girls team took on Westwood after. It was a 1-0 Westwood lead heading into the final seconds of the third period.
Morgan Byler on the face-off for Hopkinton DS. Trying to stuff it in out in front, and the shot, and it is going to be a goal! Let's see. I believe it was Lucy Jean who got the last touch, but was it covered up? And it looks like no goal. No goal is the call. Oh, there's just so much going on there. Taking it is Sullivan. She's going to try to set it down. It's a race. Can Perrone get there first? Yes, she will. Sends it up. Uh-oh, at the blue line, top of the circle, deflected. Up along the boards. Shot in, that's the finisher. Tessa Jones.
Westwood ends up hanging on for the 2-0 win. Westwood improves to 6-9-1. Hopkinton Dover Sherborne falls to 4-10-2. On Thursday, February 9th, Hiller Alpine Ski was in action. Here's a look.
For Natalie Bailey, 80.6 out of Naha, 13 question from 920, Great Person, Plum Golf question. Time for bib number 117, Sandy Pastor, 27.03 on their red course number 817, and they knock out.
You can view the full meet on the HCAM YouTube page, youtube.com/HCAMTV.
And now we want to take a few minutes to recognize our own senior along with her family. Tonight we thank Alexis for giving us everything she had during her 4 years as a member of the Hopkinton girls basketball family. Alexis, thank you for your hustle, your toughness, and your positive attitude. Please join us in honoring number 14, Alexis Bruce, along with her mother, Jessica, her father, James, and her brother, Nathan.
On Friday, February 10th, girls basketball took on Westwood. Hillers trailed 7-2 heading into the second quarter.
Restaghini driving in off the window, no good. Hiller rebound, put back, Lexi Bruce, no good. A secondary putback draws a foul. Bethel Flanagan heading to the line. And the Paharic, surrounded by defenders, gets it out to McCann. Up and in she goes.
A nice 14-point quarter for the Hillers. It was a 17-16 Westwood lead heading into the second half.
Had to get the scoring totals while everyone was anxiously awaiting. Knocking down the three, Ariana Katzman. Here comes the Wolverines with it as Kaiser feeds it up top. And a three knocked down by Ariana Katzman, her third three bucket of the game.
Westwood outscores the Hillers in the third quarter, 17-5, and would end up taking the game 40-28. Westwood improves to 14-3. Hillers fall to 3-14. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this segment of HCAM Sports Talk. We are joined by head coach of the Hopkinton Hillers girls basketball team, Coach Mike Greco, as well as a few of the players. We have the captains, Elena Davies and Caroline Kane, with us, as well as the lone senior on the roster, Lexi Bruce. How are you, everybody?
Good. How are you?
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Coach, so a young team this season, certainly not the record you wanted, but a lot of good improving talent on the roster, and you got a big win against Shepherd Hill, I heard, this past weekend. Could you talk about what it's been like to coach this team and how everything has gone throughout the season?
So the season's been, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. Obviously the record isn't, what we had hoped, but, the girls have had such great attitudes. They come ready to work every single day in practice. The team chemistry has been off the charts. They're as close knit a group, as I can remember having, which is saying something, because sometimes when you're not getting the payoff of the wins, it's easy for those kind of things to fall apart. But I think it's really a testament to their character, their upbringing, who they are as people, that, we've really kind of stuck together through it all. I know that feel like we've been making progress in a lot of ways, battling through, focusing on the process. And as you said, it kind of really all came together for us the other night, beating a very talented, very tough Shepherd Hill team.
Yeah, Coach, we've been saying it on the broadcast all season long that this team is just constantly improving. And, in my opinion, I think the one thing that was missing sometimes was shooting from the field. I thought the defense was great. I thought the ball control was great. The passing was great. But shooting from the field was missing at times. But as the season went on, that began to improve. You had a close game against Westwood. You had that win against Shepherd Hill.
Yep.
I definitely don't feel like this team has achieved all it's capable of. And I look forward to the next couple seasons where these players are going to develop.
Yeah, likewise. I think that for a lot of us, we're still learning how to play at the varsity level. Certainly through the first half of the year, I think it was really kind of a growing up period for us, where we had players coming in that, even if they had been on the varsity team before, we graduated 6 players that had played the majority of the minutes. So there was not a lot of experience. We've got players that were, playing 8th grade basketball last year that are now playing big varsity minutes. And so adjusting to the speed of the game, I think, was a challenge at the start. And, sometimes finding the right shot, from the field was, something we're still kind of figuring out. Like I said, we put a lot of things together. I think, in the game last night, we moved the ball well. We shared the ball. We found the right shots. Elena stepped up and hit 7 threes, which was kind of nice. So we had, we've definitely been improving in that area.
Absolutely. I feel like there's a lot of good talent on this team. It'll only get better as the seasons go on. And that must be the good thing about having a young team as a coach, is that you're going to have most of this roster back next season, and you'll be able to, they'll be able to improve even more.
Yeah, I mean, we'll certainly miss Alexis next year. She gives us a lot of toughness. She talks like crazy out there on defense. She truly understands a lot of like the defensive rotations and stuff. But to your point, it is kind of nice that we're going to be returning, 9-10 players from this year's squad that will be able to hit the ground running a little bit more next year. And I think we're just kind of scratching the surface of what our potential as a group can be.
And can you talk a little bit about Lexi and what she's contributed to the program throughout her 4 years at Hopkinton High School?
Yeah, Alexis has been she's been a huge part of the program. She, as you said, is our lone senior, but she gives us so much in terms of toughness. She played through a monstrous black eye earlier in the season. I don't even think she came out of the game when she got it. And if she did, she, threw ice on it, went right back in. So, I think that she's such a great example for the younger kids in the program that, you can play through some of this stuff, sets the tone that way. Even in practice today, we were, running a drill, and she was in the back of the defense, barking out orders everywhere and telling everybody, where they needed to be. And it was great. So we're going to, from that aspect, we're really going to miss her in terms of her toughness and her leadership next year.
And I'll turn out Alexis Bruce. How has your season been in your season year, and how's it been playing with this group?
I think it's been great. Like Coach said, our team is very tight knit, so we're all in it together. And I think being the lone senior has been great because it's definitely been a leadership opportunity. Since I'm the lone senior, I've been in the program for the most amount of years, so I've been able to help the underclassmen, manage basketball with school, and I've got to have a great relationship with the underclassmen, and all of us have stepped up to be leaders. I think that's been great. Every single girl on the team has had their own role and stepped up when we needed it the most. So I think it's been a great.
That's terrific. It looks like the black eye is healed.
It has healed. Yep, I can see.
Now, how'd you get that? Was that a basketball injury, or can you not share?
Oh no, it was basketball. Someone elbowed me, unfortunately.
Common injury in basketball. Coach, could you talk about your captains this season? Elena Davies, Caroline Kane, they had great seasons, a lot of fun to watch. Can you talk about some of their contributions?
Sure. Elena has been our point guard all season. She's probably the one that, gave us, of the returning group we had, she probably played the most minutes for us last year. So we certainly look to her a lot, to handle the ball, to break pressure, to get us organized, a lot of that stuff. But even more than that, she and Caroline both have been so positive with the group, making sure everybody's got their head up, making sure the energy is right, being tremendous leaders, both on the court in practice, and then, organizing things like, going out to breakfast after a Sunday practice or team dinners and things like that. Some of that stuff that really forces that chemistry to develop, which can be tough when you have such a young team, and they've done a great job. Caroline, has been coming back from an ACL injury. And I think first half of the season was really kind of sort of still trying to figure out her way back. And she had, was on the varsity team last year, but, obviously wasn't able to participate at all. So was, on one hand, trying to overcome the knee injury, and on the other hand, trying to adjust to the speed and the physicality of the varsity game. And then something probably about halfway through the season, I guess, sort of clicked for her. And all of a sudden it was like she got her confidence back and, felt good about the knee. And, we're starting to see the old Caroline again, which has been great. And she's been, one of those players that we don't want to take off the court, certainly in a close game as of late.
Well, I have to say, Caroline, I certainly sympathize with you with the knee injury. They're not fun. I've torn my ACL. It's not fun. Elena, how has your season gone? How's it been playing with this group all year?
It's been awesome. I think obviously this hasn't been our best season, but I feel like honestly it's kind of brought us closer together because we've gotten through it together and we've kind of grown from it as a team. And I feel like even though our record may not speak for our improvement, we've gotten so much better all together and learned to work together so much better. And I feel like we've just grown so much, and I feel like it's been a really awesome season.
All right, Caroline, same question. How's this season been? How's it been playing with this group?
Yeah, no, it's been awesome playing with this group. I feel like, we've had our ups and downs throughout the season, but all of our downs have just made us so much closer, and we've really gained chemistry off the court, and we're finally starting to see, that chemistry on the court and seeing us, click. And I feel like yesterday really proved and showed our progress that we've just been waiting to see.
Terrific. And Coach, is the season concluded? Is there the Westboro tournament coming up, right? Or is that concluded?
Yeah, so we had Shepherd Hill in the first round of the Westboro tournament yesterday. So now we're in the winners bracket against we're playing against Westboro tomorrow night at 7:00.
Can you tell us anything about the Westboro team? What to expect? That's always a great crosstown rivalry.
It is. Yeah, they were in our tournament over the winter break. They're a very athletic team. They're well coached. They're balanced. They got a sophomore that can shoot the ball just lights out in Rachel Carpenter. They've got a couple of forward/wings that are real athletic. They get up and down. It's a team that tries to press you and get out and transition a lot. They're well coached. They play hard, so we're excited.
All right, absolutely. Should be a good battle. Lexi, can you tell us your favorite memory during the season. You have any favorite memories during the season?
I have a bunch. It's actually a hard question. But personally, I think senior night was definitely my favorite memory. I think the team did a great job of coming together and really they put in a lot of time and effort to make that night awesome. I don't know if you've seen photos, but we had a Bruce letters card out. Yeah.
I was there.
Oh yeah, obviously. Yeah, but I think that was definitely my favorite memory. It was a great night, and it was definitely special.
That was a great night. A lot of fun. Good game too. Good game. You guys came up short, but it was a great game. Elena, any favorite memories from the season?
I'm gonna have to go with in the beginning of the season the New Year's sleepover. I feel like it just like we all just got so much closer in that one night, and I feel like every year that's such a fun tradition, and that's definitely one of like the best memories of the season because it's like the first time that you really click as a team.
All right, Caroline, what about you? What are some of your favorite memories?
Probably my favorite memory was actually yesterday's game. I feel like it was so nice to see us all come together and like click. We've just been waiting for that moment for so long, and getting to go out to dinner and celebrate with each other was just a really good moment.
Yeah, I think since you beat Shepherd Hill and they're going to be in the playoffs, that should put your team in the playoffs, but I don't have a say. Coach, what about you? What are your favorite memories from the season?
I probably got a second Caroline's there. I think that, more than just the win yesterday, it was just the way that we played. We moved the ball with purpose. We picked each other up. Everybody stepped up and got something done when they got on the court. We went 11 deep on the bench, and, whether it was diving on the court for a loose ball or, making a key defensive rotation or grabbing a rebound, like everybody contributed something when they got out there. And, it's the kind of season where, our previous game, we played in Medfield and we got beat pretty good. I wasn't really sure what to expect, coming out on Sunday. And it felt like one of those games where, if the right team shows up, if we show up with the right attitude, like we were going to be competitive. But it also, the end of a season with a tough record, sometimes things go the other way as well. And to see the way that they came out and, even after going down 14-7 in the first quarter, picked it up and never gave up and clawed and fought. And even when we had a lead and Shepherd Hill came back, like we put on a run right back on them. And we just, like, I was so proud of the way that they played together and they played for 32 minutes. It was something that I feel like sometimes they need to see in themselves to believe that they can do it. But it was that was one that I'll remember for sure.
Absolutely. I wish I was at that game. I must say, that's a great accomplishment, beating a team like that for sure. Lexi, what's next for you? You playing any spring sports? You playing any sports in college? What's next for you?
I'm not doing any spring sports. In college, I want to do intramural basketball, definitely. I love playing, so I was actually talking to my parents about that. I think I'm going to do that.
All right. Elena, how about you? Any spring sports, and you going to be playing anything in college that you know of yet?
I'm doing track in the spring, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. For college, I'm not really sure yet. I kind of have to start looking into that, but that'll definitely be something I put some more thought into in the future.
All right. What about you, Caroline?
In the spring, I'm going to play softball, and I think in college I'll be playing club basketball, hopefully.
Yeah, probably.
All right. And so the practices are almost over, so we can't make you run too many laps. So I feel like I could ask this question. What's it been like
our
working
last one today?
What's it been like working with Coach Greco? Lexi, we'll start with you.
I think it's been great. All the coaches have been doing such a good job. They put in so much time to improve every day at practice. He knows exactly what drills, what we need to work on. And he definitely is great about keeping a positive atmosphere and helping every single player.
Right.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Like, coach is always so organized. He has his practice plan with everything we need to do. Like, he scouts every team. He puts so much effort in to, like, do the best he can to, like, make us do the best we can. And they've kept such a positive attitude with us all season. Like, it's definitely not been an easy season, but they've been so patient, and we like all definitely appreciate that. Like, I know we've all like noticed that, and like we definitely take that into account. Like, we appreciate it.
Yeah, I agree. Coach does a great job. He's so dedicated to all of us, and it definitely shows. He always scouts the teams beforehand. He makes a poster before the game with all like the key goals that we should do. And he's just always been there for us throughout the whole season, you know, through our ups and downs, just trying to create a positive atmosphere.
All right. Well, congratulations on a great season, Coach Greco, as well as Alexis, Elena, Caroline. It's been a lot of fun to watch, and I think this team is only going to get better, and I wish you all the best luck against Westboro. Hopefully you'll take home a nice win in the Westboro tournament.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
You.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into this segment of HCAM Sports Talk. Tom Nappy here, and we are joined by Andy Barron from MyFM 101.3. You can hear him every Saturday, 9 to 11 a.m. on the Sports Buzz. Andy, how are you?
Good, Tom. How are you? Are you over the Super Bowl yet?
Yeah, I guess. Over and done with.
Yeah, there's not some very happy
The
campers.
more I look at that ending, the worse it looks for the game to end up like that.
I'm just happy I picked Kansas City. I got the game right. I'm just happy about that. I almost came back. I almost won the season.
You almost did. You almost did.
That would have been something.
That would have been the greatest comeback in HCAM Sports Talk history.
It all started when I picked Washington over Green Bay. You know, and you all laughed at me, and then I had the last laugh. But
Yep.
That's okay. It was a fun season. I had a good time. Can't wait for next year.
Yes, it certainly was. Our picks are in. It's all done. And the final scores. Congratulations to Jared Keene. He finished first, 199 points. Steve Watson was able to hang on to second place. He almost overtook Jared. He had 197 points. What saved Jared was hitting 7 out of 12 of the props.
Yeah.
That saved him. And then you overtook me, which isn't cool. You had 194 points and finished third. You nailed the winner. You nailed the spread. And you did, I think you went 7 and 5 on the props.
Not bad.
So you did good. You ended up finishing third. And you were pretty far behind in fourth going into this.
Yeah, I was. I'm surprised you even asked me to come on the show today after I overtook you.
I was a little mad, but that's why we had to take last week off. I had to get over my anger.
Yeah, I get yeah, it was a
well, hold on. I got 190 points, and
you got 190. Okay.
Mike finished last with 182.
Steve's here.
And Mike went 3 out of 12 props. Mike hit. Oh, look at that! Steve Watson is around.
Did you go to the Bruins game today? He probably went to the game today.
We'll have to ask him. We'll see if his internet works. That's a big if.
They won 3-1. So I know the Bruins won today 3-1.
Yes, they did have a great game here on this President's Day, able to take the victory over the Ottawa Senators, and they're starting to get on fire again. I think.
They had a good road trip.
Steve, how are you?
Fantastic, Tom. How about you?
Absolutely fantastic. Now
Good to see you, Steve. What's up?
There it goes. I think you're muted somehow.
Yep. Sorry.
There you go. We were just going over the final points. The final points for our football picks. Jared first. You were just behind in second. The props kind of saved Jared because he went 8-4 on props. You went 6-6. And Andy finished third, 194. I was fourth, 190. Terrible. Mike was last with 182. He only hit 3 out of 12 props. Poor Mike. But there it is. But Steve, congratulations on a great season of Pick'em. You almost had it.
Almost so close.
Very close. Good job. I think honestly, I think everybody did pretty well. This is probably the best year everyone's had.
This was the No, it wasn't. It was probably the worst year everyone's had overall.
Really?
This was a really tough season to pick. There
Was
was so
tough.
many upsets.
Were.
I mean,
Yeah,
last
there was some weeks where you had maybe 5 or 6 games where you just no one had that, and what was it? I was early in the year, but I think I picked the Giants, Jets, and the Lions to all win in the same week. Which I think it was the first time both New York teams won the same day in like 10 years.
and
You should
Crazy.
have gotten.
Crazy
You
stuff
should have
this year.
gotten an award just for that. Just for
wait,
picking
what?
these
What?
teams.
I know.
Andy had a few of those weeks.
Yeah, he did.
You had like Giants, Jags, Jets. You had something going for like a while. You did like 2 weeks. You had Giants, Jets, and Jags, I think it was, and you hit.
Mr. Barron, he's the upset master over here.
He really is. He gets the upset award of the year. So the NFL season's done, all finished. There's some now we get the off season. Some fun stuff's gonna happen there, and we'll get to some of those what's going on in the off season in just a few minutes because there are some interesting things that have developed. But any of you guys catch the XFL this past weekend? I
Yeah.
thought it was a great product. The games
was.
are really enjoyable, very close, and I love the extra point system. Instead of the kicking the extra point, you could go for 1 from the 2-yard line, convert from the 2, 2 from the 5-yard line, 3 from the 10-yard line. It makes the games all that more interesting rather than watching a boring extra point. What do you guys think about the XFL? Andy, go for it.
I thought it was really good, Tom. And the other thing I like too is that when they go into a challenge, they actually explain to you what's going on. Finally, some communication, because the NFL is not doing that. The XFL seems to have it right. And I like it. I just like the product. I like the energy of the game. They got something going here good, because this is a total revamp of that debacle with He Hate Me in 2000. Just like playing like rugby football. It's just garbage football they were playing. This is a lot better. I like the products. You have former NFL coaches that are coaching. Terrell Buckley, former Patriots Super Bowl champion, Hines Ward. I like it. I like what I'm seeing. And I think this is here to stay for a while. I think they're putting a lot of money into this product. You've got ABC and ESPN invested. You know they got the money behind it. And I think this is the next big league. They're not going to overtake the NFL, don't get me wrong. But I definitely think they're better than the USFL. The CFL is still pretty good, but this league is, I've been impressed. I've been very impressed.
Absolutely. I think it's been very impressive. Steve, any thoughts on the XFL?
Yeah, I watched a chunk of San Antonio and St. Louis yesterday. Was it St. Louis? They were down by 12. They got the touchdown, went for the 3-point conversion from the 10, then got it. And then, of course, you're only down by a field goal, and then they went for it on 4th and 15 rather than do the onside kick.
Right.
I know it's been proposed. I know it's been proposed in the pros, but honestly, I don't ever see that passing in the pros. I think teams would master the 4th and 15. Onside kick takes a lot more skill to get, but yeah, it was intriguing. It was definitely intriguing. So we'll see if they can last more than 1 year. Back when Vince McMahon was in charge in 2001, it only lasted a year. 2020, COVID happened, so that shut it down midway through. So, maybe they'll make it past the first year this time.
Right. Yeah, I think they will. I think this is a good product. And I think really in this league, you're getting the second best to the NFL player-wise. It really seems like they got all the talent that they possibly could that's not in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of familiar names across the league.
There are, like A.J. McCarron, very familiar name there as well. And I also like the fact, too, that you got some other cities that got teams now. St. Louis, they lost the Rams of a few years back. It's nice to see that they have a football team back in St. Louis.
Yes. And I'm sure St. Louis is thrilled. They, because they always gave the Rams a pretty good crowd, and they were very bummed when the Rams left. But now they have a team they could root for. And for us, we're thrilled because it extends football, which is always great. So we'll certainly be talking about these XFL games as the season goes on, because why not? Especially when you get into that boring time where there's not much going on in hockey and basketball. But of course, we will throw some Bruins and Celtics in there because they have just been fantastic, and we're going to throw some of that in today as well. And Steve, I have to ask, did you go to the game today?
I did not. No, I had to work today, unfortunately. I was there Saturday, though. And then I'll be in Seattle on Thursday. So
there you go. Saturday was a good game.
yes, fantastic game. Good win over the Isles and good win today over the Sens. First win in 3 tries this year against them.
Yes.
4 straight wins. Hopefully have a good road trip here. They got their Seattle and Western Canada swing upcoming here these next 4 games.
I think the Bruins are starting to get back on fire a little bit. They kind of slowed down a little bit leading to the All-Star break, but it looks like they're starting to pick it up again.
Yeah, they had a little bit of a lull. Then they lost the first game after the break to Washington. Kind of a flat effort. Then they go into Dallas Tuesday. They beat the best team in the West. Crushed Nashville, crushed the Islanders, beat Ottawa. So the last 4 games have been really good. What you've seen all year. I wouldn't even call it a slump what they went through, just a lull. All teams go through it.
And you almost want to see him go through that lull because
I agree.
You don't want him to be red hot the entire season, going to the playoffs, because there has to be that lull. And
yes.
If they don't have it during the season, well, they might have it in the playoffs at the exact wrong time. So,
yeah, and that's what happened with Tampa. You remember Tampa? They had 62 wins in 2018-19. They faced no adversity all season, and then they played Columbus. Columbus punched them in the mouth. Then they had no response because they hadn't faced it all year. So I think you have to face some adversity because you need to figure out how to get out of it.
Absolutely, Andy. Any thoughts on the Bruins?
Well, I think this is a big game for them Thursday night, guys. Seattle's pretty good. Gave the Bruins some problems here. Shut them out here last time. Now you're heading out to a tough arena, tough road trip. The Bruins have been great on the West Coast this year, but the Seattle game, this is going to be a tough game Thursday night. It's going to be a tough game. I like their chances. Don't get me wrong. I think the Bruins can beat anybody, but be interested to see how they go here, how this game goes, because I think the Kraken have been very impressive this year.
I think the Bruins are going to be very motivated. That loss out here last month was one of the worst losses of the season. To get shut out in your own building. So, that was only 5 weeks ago. So that's still kind of fresh in everyone's mind. I'm sure they'll be fired up on Thursday night.
Yes, I think so. And I think now is the time of year that you're going to see a lot of now that football's over. I mean, there's already been some very good fan participation. They've been filling up the arena pretty much every game, if not every game. And they certainly should with the way they've been playing. But now is the time where people really get into it. It's going to get exciting. You're getting near that playoff time. But what I'm hoping for is they just keep doing what they're doing, really. They've just been great. They've been the best all-around team in hockey. I don't think there's any doubt about that. The goaltending has been the best. Really everything's been the best. So get that winning streak going again. They're already on a 4-game winning streak, and get red hot and get ready for the postseason, because it's certainly it's not going to be an easy postseason. In the East, I think, might be a little more tougher than the West this year.
Yeah, the East is stacked. Look at the standings.
Yeah.
I think there are 6 teams in the East with more points than the top one in the West.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy to think about.
Steve makes a great point. I'm still going to say it again. Carolina's their biggest threat. I just think they've had the Bruins number over the last couple of years. The Bruins have not played well down in Carolina. I believe it will be Bruins and Carolina in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. In the West, you got Dallas at the top of the Central.
Yeah, that's still a ways down the road, but I don't think anyone would be shocked.
No, they're the 2 best teams.
Yeah, Carolina will definitely be there. They always give the Bruins a hard time, but look at the Devils. They've come on strong lately. They've been playing well, and the Rangers have picked it up a bit.
Can't count Tampa Bay out either. They're still
I would never count out Tampa.
They're always that is a really good franchise. They've done a great job with that team. Like they have been the last 7 or 8 years. They've been in the mix every single year. So that's a team you got to watch out for too. I think the Bruins are better, but playoffs are a different animal.
Yeah, with Tampa, they remind me a lot of the Yankees back in the late 90s, early 2000s. You can just never count them out.
Nope.
They always find a way to be in contention every single year.
And the Bruins have struggled in Tampa too. They've had problems there in the postseason. Again, I like the team. They're playing great. They're the best team in the NHL right now, but you got to win in the postseason. Like it's just a different.
This Bruins team, I think if they just keep doing what they're doing and just focus on their game, that's what they've been doing. That's what they've been doing all year. So if they just stay focused, just one game at a time, keep moving on.
Yep. And Andy, by the way, it was Bob DiNucci, Seattle Sea Dragons. That was the name I was trying to think of.
Bob DiNucci from the Seattle.
Remember him from the Cowboys?
Okay. I think I'm going to pick the Sea Dragons.
It's Ben, not Bob, right? Is it Ben?
Oh, it is Ben. I just can't read.
Yeah.
So yeah, fine. Ben DiNucci.
I think I'm going to pick.
What's the difference?
I think I'm going to pick the Sea Dragons to win the XFL title just because I like the team.
Yes, we got to pick an XFL title winner. So we'll give it another week and then we'll choose like an XFL title winner. But anyways, yeah, I mean the Bruins. There's really nothing you could criticize them on. They're just good. All the lines are good. I think they're the strongest team, and I think what is really going to help the Bruins, they have the depth. I mean, all 4 lines are very strong. They got 2 strong goaltenders. They have more depth than any team, I think, in the league. And I think that's really what's going to help them in the long run. They're built to win a championship. And I think if they don't win a championship this season, or if they don't at least make it, even if they just make it and don't win, I think it's kind of a letdown. I think this team should win it. I know it's tough. I know there's a lot of tough teams in the East, but this team's the best. There's high expectations, I'd say, for this Bruins team. And it'll be a letdown if they can't take that cup home. All right, but I do want to include the Celtics as well because they have had a terrific season. They're at the top of the East, and really all I have to say about the East in the NBA, it's going to be Celtics and Bucks. I mean, those are the 2 teams it's going to come down to. Yep. The West, kind of a toss-up, but you got the Nuggets, who are in first by 5 games, which is very impressive. So Nuggets could very well be the team out of the West. Memphis, I guess, is pretty good as well. Sacramento, those are kind of teams you want to look out for. Clippers, Suns, I don't see them doing much. But the East, a lot more entertaining. You got the Celtics, Bucks, Sixers 3 games out, so they're kind of in there. But I think we're going to have an Eastern Conference championship, Celtics, Bucks. I mean, any thoughts on the Celtics, guys? Andy?
Yeah, I agree. Now, Giannis did hurt his wrist, so I don't know how severe that injury is. But, yeah, it's clear to me. Celtics and Bucks are the 2 best teams. I know there's some other teams that could potentially make some noise. I know Cleveland has been, Donovan Mitchell has been amazing this year for the Cavaliers, but when you get into a 7-game series, it's just different in the playoffs. So, they might win a game or 2 here or there, but yes, it should be Bucks and Celtics. And I am going to disagree a little bit. I think the Suns, with Kevin Durant now, could win the West.
That helps.
Because there's the Nuggets, the Kings, the Grizzlies, they have great players, but they don't seem like they have the complete team. I would love to see Dallas and Boston play for the title, see Kyrie Irving come back. He's already terrified of the Celtics as it is, but listen, I don't know. I thought Tatum's performance in the All-Star game was terrific. I know a lot of people think it was not, but I disagree. Look, there's only been 4 guys in the history of the NBA who have scored 50 points in an All-Star game, and he's one of them. It is an exhibition. Yeah, they don't play any defense, and the game has changed. Let's face it. It's not the same like it was 30, 40 years ago. They don't play defense. I get it, but still, nonetheless, 55 points is 55 points. He hit 10 3-pointers.
Do you think Tatum's the best player in the league right now?
He's one of them. He's up there. He's in the top 5.
He might be number 1 right now.
He's in the top 5. It's him, Jokic, Luka Doncic, Tatum, Ja Morant.
Right.
Yeah, he's right there. And Giannis. He's right there. No doubt about it. It was an incredible performance. He's the first MVP since Larry Bird in 1982. Not many Celtics players have won the All-Star MVP. That's pretty impressive. It's very impressive. It's just what are that? Four guys scored over 30 points in an All-Star game. Jaylen Brown had 35. Donovan Mitchell had 40. Kyrie Irving had 35. I think Damian Lillard had 30. This is what the NBA is now. It's a scoring league. That's what it is. But they do play defense in the postseason. It's a different, but the game is getting faster. The athletes are getting stronger. You just have to. That's just the way it is. It's not like it was 30, 40 years ago. It is an exhibition. But what I'm mostly upset about is how in the world has Boston not hosted an All-Star game since 1964? That is a disgrace. This is the best, the premier franchise in basketball, and we have not had an All-Star game here since 1964. That's embarrassing. They should have an All-Star game in Boston. Next year it's in Indiana, but I know the Celtics are trying to put in a bid for the next 2 years. You need to get that game here in Boston.
I agree 100%. Boston is one of the best sports cities, if not the best sports city in the country. It's the best sports city, but they certainly deserve an All-Star game. They have the facilities for it. They have the city for it. That is a very surprising stat to hear.
And listen to this too, guys. You got Brown and Tatum. That's going to help too. You got two superstar players. That's going to help draw the All-Star game in here. I think it's going to happen in the next few years.
I think if they keep playing like this, it could be a very special run for the Celtics. It could be a dynasty type of run. They're obviously going to have some tough competition, but I'm going to be surprised if we don't see a championship in Tatum's career.
Don't you feel like they're the next team? They have to be. Like, it just seems like they're the team. They're right there. I mean, Golden State is on their last legs.
They are, and they're the most well-rounded team. It's kind of like the Bruins in hockey. And Celtics is kind of the same in basketball. They're the most well-rounded team. Any given night, even if Tatum's having a bad night, Brown could step up, or Smart could step up. There's a number of guys that could step up on this roster. This is a team that I think should be around for quite a while and be a threat in the NBA for quite a while. It's just the most well-rounded team in the league. I can't think of another team that has the amount of depth that the Celtics do. Steve, do you have any thoughts on the Celtics?
I think the East Finals will be Boston, Milwaukee. I'd be pretty shocked if it's not. Can they win the whole thing? Oh, they were 2 games short last year, so sure, they can. As for Andy's point about the All-Star game, I know the Celtics and the city are pushing for it. I know that the Bruins are pushing for an All-Star game. I think it was in the works before all this stuff happened a few years ago, and I know the Sox pushing for one at Fenway, perhaps in 2029, 30th anniversary of the 99 game. So I think by the end of this decade, I think you'll see all 3 All-Star games make their way through Boston. It's entirely possible. That'd really be something to have all 3 in just such a short span.
It sure would. And but even if the Red Sox do get another All-Star game back here, it'll be great. Nothing will top 1999. Not even close.
No. And 99 is
all-time great.
You can't top that. Like there's no recreating that. There's just not.
That was the greatest, one of the greatest, probably the greatest All-Star game ever. It was unbelievable.
Oh,
great.
Pedro, McGuire, Sosa, Jeter. The list goes on.
Cal Ripken Jr.
Tony Gwynn. Like,
that was the year, and Pedro pitched the first 2 innings, struck out the side.
Yeah, struck out the first 4.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Ted Williams was there.
It was the first 4 innings. And when you strike out everybody, right?
Yeah, first he pitched 2 innings. He struck out the first 4 batters. Which is crazy.
That is unbelievable in an All-Star game.
Yeah, in an All-Star game, it's some of the best of the best, like Sosa, McGuire, all those guys.
I still think the baseball All-Star game is the best out of the 4. I still feel like the players really do put a lot into that. But there was a time where the NBA and the NFL were very, very competitive All-Star games, very competitive. And something happened. I don't know what it is, but baseball to me still kind of has it. Still kind of has it.
Yeah, and it's because of really what they did in baseball. They haven't made many good moves in baseball, but the one move they did do was the All-Star game would go to, wasn't it if American League wins, the American League team in the World Series is home field advantage.
Same thing
and
if
vice
the National
versa.
League won too. But like even last year, you're watching it, like you've seen like John Carlos Stanton go against Clayton Kershaw. That's a big thing, you know. It just I still think baseball is pretty good. Still think they have some pretty good All-Star games.
But nothing in baseball will compare to what's happening Thursday night. St. Louis Battlehawks and the Seattle Sea Dragons.
Oh, I had to think for a second. There you go.
And that's in Seattle. At the same time, the Bruins are playing the Kraken.
Steven, you're gonna go to that game too?
Well, I if it was at a different time, then I would wander over to Lumen Field and go to that game too. But it's at the same time, so
that's such a bummer. Imagine if you get an XFL game in there.
I know. I was hoping that it would fit in the schedule, but it didn't. But
You gotta buy a
it'll still be
Seattle Sea
anyway.
Dragons jersey while you're up there, you know.
And I gotta tell you, I love their logo. You got the orange, the green. It's just
good.
Something clicks. It's a
Seattle's
very cool logo.
Very underrated sports city. They got a lot going on there right now.
Well, yeah, and the Kraken's having a good year too.
And the Sonics, I heard they're trying to get the Sonics back to Seattle. So I mean, they got a lot going on there right now.
They do. I think I'm going to root for the Houston Roughnecks, though.
You would. Wade Phillips is their coach. He's the head coach.
That's right.
Yeah, he's the coach of the Houston Roughnecks. Yeah. The XFL. Gotta love it.
It's gonna be fun. More football. On top of some great hockey and basketball. A couple first place teams. Doesn't get any better. It's gonna be a fun spring here in Boston.
It should be, because there's not a lot to look forward to the Red Sox right now. So this is very glad the Bruins and Celtics are doing so well, because it's gonna be a long year for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully it's a really fun spring on Causeway Street. And there's no reason why it can't be.
It should be. It should be. And a couple NFL notes. The Broncos have interviewed Rex Ryan as a possible head coach.
Well, defensive coordinator?
Yeah, DC. Sean Payton's head coach.
As I said, I can't. Oh, right. Yeah, coordinator. As I said, I can't read. So Rex Ryan and Sean Payton, that could be an interesting combo.
Could be. Patriots go out there next year. This season they go to Denver. But
Rex Ryan hasn't coached in 7 years though.
Been a long time. Yeah.
And he took over the Bills, and he ran that defense into the ground.
Yeah.
Like they had a good defense when he got there, and by the time he left, that defense was terrible.
And the Broncos defense is not good right now. I mean, this has a potential to be an absolute disaster in Denver. That team needs so much work. Don't be surprised.
Yeah, it could be like last year.
Yeah,
it's got to be better than last year, though. I mean,
I think it will.
Disaster.
But don't be surprised if this blows up in Sean Payton's face. I don't know. I just don't think that team has it. From what I
Sean Payton's gonna have to work some miracles with them.
Yeah,
and especially with Russell Wilson.
No doubt about it. That division is stacked. They're not better than the Chiefs. I don't even think they're better than the Raiders. They might even be better than the Chargers. That division is so good. You're not overtaking Mahomes. It's not happening.
But yet you have some Broncos fans who I think are kind of delusional and think that they are going to overtake the Chiefs.
That division belongs to the Chiefs until further notice. Period.
Yeah, I think the Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos right now are much like the Bills, Jets, and Dolphins from 2001 to 2019.
Yeah.
They're going to be tortured.
The Chiefs
absolutely tortured. As long as Mahomes and Andy Reid are there.
Yeah, the Chiefs are an elite team. They are. You got to admit.
It's very possible that Russell Wilson had his years of glory, and he is no longer one of the best. I mean, he was.
I would tend to agree with you, Tom.
Last year.
Now, Derek Carr, I heard it could be going to the Jets. That's what seems like to be the team
that'll make the East a little more interesting. For sure. You got to expect the Jets to get somebody. And Steve, I totally interrupted you. What were you saying?
Yeah, I was just saying how the West they're gonna be tortured by the Chiefs, much like the rest of the East was tortured by the Patriots for so long.
Right.
And I'm going to pronounce
So,
this guy's wrong, but speaking of the Chiefs, Eric Bieniemy is the new assistant head coach / offensive coordinator of the Commanders.
Yeah, I saw that this week. Boy, it's going to be a huge difference going from Kansas City to Washington. I mean, but he's trying to obviously become a head coach. I don't know if he might be the guy in waiting in Washington. I mean, let's face it. There is some talent down there. Nothing like Kansas City has, but
well, it's all about the money. All about the money.
Yeah.
I mean, he already had a sweet job. I'm sure there's a big pay increase here for sure.
Probably, most likely.
Let's face it. Does Mahomes really need an offensive coordinator?
No. Pat, the guy is just an incredible player. He's a phenomenal quarterback, and it won't shock me if the Chiefs win it again next year.
They're going to be in there. They're going to be in there.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the same suspects. You'll have the Bills in there,
Bengals,
and then
Chiefs.
Maybe some other team will take a step up. A team that plays at Gillette Stadium maybe will take a step up. We'll see. But
I know. No, I seriously, I could see it. I'm telling you, the East is there for the taking.
It is.
The Bills are not a lock.
No, they're not.
Right now, the East belongs to the Bills, and Miami is the second best in the East.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And
Right now,
long way to go. We'll see what happens.
I think the division is going to be very competitive once again this year.
Whole off
Very
season to go. The Pats need weapons. They need help. If you don't get some good free agents, you don't make some good draft picks, you don't make some changes, I'm not expecting much.
The Pats need some offensive line help for starters. I think if you solve that, that'll solve some other issues too. Because that's really where a lot of the problems start.
I have seen a lot of talk about them trading Mac Jones. There's been a lot of talk.
I can't see them doing it. Would I be totally floored? Given some of the crazy trades the last few off seasons, no. But all right, if you trade him, then who do you get?
You don't need anyone. You got Bailey Zappi.
Yeah, I'm not saying they'll trade him. I do think Mac Jones is the franchise quarterback here.
So they've also been talking about that Deebo Samuel has been linked to New England, and I said it. Craig and I were talking about this last week on the show about how a guy like that is a game-changing player.
Yep.
The Patriots are instantly better. He's tough. He's got an attitude. He competes. That is the type of player they need. Are they a Super Bowl contender? No, but they are definitely better. No doubt about it.
It's a start for sure.
It's a start. Absolutely.
Hopefully they will get a guy like that. But believe it or not, we are out of time. It is time to get to our final thoughts. Andy, any final thoughts?
Any final thoughts?
He has to think about it.
I have to think. I'm like, I think I already talked about it. So have Steve go first.
All right, Steve, any final thoughts?
Go Bruins.
Go Bruins.
That's all I got
there
for
you
you.
Go. Andy, just say go Celtics. That could be your final thought.
Go Celtics, and MIAA tournaments coming up very soon. Very soon.
Yes, we'll be talking March Madness on the show very soon. My final thought, winter season playoffs coming up. Be on the lookout for where the Hillers will be. Boys basketball, boys hockey, therein. We'll be broadcasting as many games as we can. Just head over to our website, hcam.tv, to figure out where we will be and when the games are. But for Jared's not here, but for Andy Barron and Steve Watson and Jared Keene, we miss you. I'm Tom Nappy. Take care. Be well. We'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye, everybody.